It's 6 o'clock, and I call a regular board meeting order, July 14th, 2025. Please rise and join me for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Hill,
Yes.
Trustee Bowden,
Here.
Trustee Hudson,
Here.
Trustee Richards,
Here.
Trustee Sandberg,
Here.
Trustee Sluse,
Here.
Trustee Sturba,
Here.
Public comments? Please state your name.
Jenny DeVault. I'm a resident of Oak Street, and one of the things, actually I have two things I wanted to discuss. One of the things is the athletic field that's proposed over on the open field north of the high school. It's being considered for the by the Peatone School Board as the proposed site of the athletic field to be built. Given the unique circumstances and flooding history, this site is not advisable for development. The site is within the Zone A floodplain, contains the Rock Creek Channel and stormwater patterns that bottleneck in this parcel, and it possesses Ashcombe hydric wetland soil that extends from the field into our home lots on Oak Street. If the proposed sports facility does go through as planned, which it sounds like it probably will, I would like the project to be required to require the guided engineering of both the Army Corps of Engineers and the state IDNR, so as to ensure minimal impact to our vulnerable neighborhood. Now, I know the village does not have jurisdiction whether these fields are to be built or not, but I think it's time for the community members to once again highlight long-standing flooding problems on Oak Street, and to our village board members to seek improved drainage in the light of the proposed project. So that being said, the other thing is elementary school traffic on Oak Street. Oak Street's got a lot of stuff going on. I'm not sure if this is a school board issue or a village issue, but Oak Street is used as a staging line for picking up children from the elementary school. I'm bringing this up now in hope that come August, a better plan is in place for the pickup. Just to let you know, I did also speak about this at the school board meeting last month. No one said anything, nothing was said, so come August, school starts, whether they'll do anything or not, I don't know. But anyway, I and some of my neighbors have had cars partially block our driveways. I would like this to be explained to parents as unacceptable, either in letters or some other form of communication. Also, the lines of traffic spill out onto Ratchie Road, both southbound and northbound. They are lined up from all the way from the elementary school down the 2 blocks of Oak Street, and now they're on Ratchie Road. So let's see. Anyone driving on Ratchie Road heading straight past Oak Street has to pass these line of cars in the oncoming lanes to get to their destination. Otherwise, they're waiting until all these cars clear up before they can go. So, it says, well, let's see. I think as the parents were told not to line up on Ratchie Road. I believe they were told by a police officer. And they should line up on the high school drive, the overflow. And this lasted for less than a week. And they're back lined up both directions. And it's blocking traffic on Ratchy. So who's in control? Is it the village in control or is it school?
It's a good question. Let's definitely be having a conversation with the school board about that.
Instead
Well-
of lining up on Oak, they could just line up in the school, like where the overflow is supposed to go.
Yeah, by the high school.
Yeah,
They
but
could just
they
line up there.
don't. They don't want to because they have to wait for everybody to go through and then they get to go. They don't wanna do that.
No, but you could start the line there.
Oh, you can start the
Instead of
line there,
starting at
yeah.
Oak, because my son was in 3rd grade this past year, and I know exactly what you're talking about, when I'm sitting on Ratchy, and then the cars can't get through, so some will go on Oak, but then they're also parking the opposite way because there's nowhere else to go. It's a cluster.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess. So just
Dangerous.
wanted to make these clear because again, school starts next month. And something should be in place before school starts. Great,
Thank you.
that's it,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Mark Jones. I'm at 521 South Ratchy. I had a different topic that I wanted to talk about, which was under new business item number G, which is the motion to approve the ordinance for the mobility scooters, electric scooters, and electric bikes. I read this 30 minutes before coming here, so I apologize if I don't have the full picture. But on a quick sift, I saw that the low-speed electric scooters in the policy are not to exceed 10 miles an hour, while the rider is to be of at least 18 years of age. And then for electric bicycles are split up into different classes. And I can only find the description of the Class 3 bicycle, where it requires an operator of at least 16 years old with a speed that is, or that reaches 28 miles an hour. I'm confused on how the regulation on the electric scooters are 18, or is higher than electric bikes, but it is 18 miles less than the electric bicycles.
Chief, you wanna jump in on this real quick?
I might have wrong information on this as well.
The state of Illinois passed a law, and we're just adopting the status because we can't change what the state of Illinois has done. So
Gotcha.
yes, it's very confusing, it's all over the place, it really makes no sense, but it's what the state of Illinois did.
All right, so I guess
If that helps.
that helps. Well, nothing to do here then.
Thank you, Mark. Anybody else? Okay. Move on to our consent agenda. Approve the minutes of the June 23rd, 2025 regular village board meeting. Approve payroll and accounts payable. We have 2 payroll periods to approve tonight. First, payroll period ending 6/21/25 in the amount of $76,161.67. Second, payroll period for ending in 7/5 in the amount of $72,028.04. Accounts payable for the period ending 7/11/25 for the following amounts. General fund, $108,058.74. The building permit escrow fund, $3,650. Capital improvement fund, $25,255.75. Business development district fund, $1,711.25. The TIF 1 fund, $1,060.25. TIF 2 fund, $4,543.75, for a total amount of $144,379.74. Approval of the Knights of Columbus Annual Intellectual Disabilities Fund Drive, the Tootsie Roll Drive, on September 19th to the 21st, 2025, on the streets of Peatone. Approve a special event and one-day Class C 2 liquor license, Peatone Chamber of Commerce, Sip and Stroll, on the 11th of September 25, 5 to 8 p.m. with road closure on 2nd Street from Main to Crawford, on North Street from Railroad to 2nd Street, the west side of the street, and then Main Street from First Street to Railroad with a request to waive the fee for a one-day liquor license. Item E is approve a special event for a block party, Jake St. Louis, 325 West North Street, August 16th, 2025, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. with road closures on North Street between Conrad and Northwest Street. Trustees have any questions or would like anything removed? Motion,
Motion.
Second.
motion by Julie, second by Sturba.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Richards?
Yes.
Trustee Sandberg?
Yes.
Trustee Sluse?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Staff and committee reports. We'll start with engineer. Troy is on vacation and Van Columbus is filling in for him.
Yeah, can I just address the first comment from the resident, if I could?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I don't remember your name, but you brought up a question about the development at the high school. I'm not all that familiar with it because the person from our office that usually handles that isn't here tonight, he's on vacation. But I do know that that project has to have an IDNR permit and has to have an Army Corps permit. I can't remember if it has to have, no, I'm sorry, it has to have a FEMA permit and an IDNR permit. I'm not positive if it has to have an Army Corps permit. But our office does the reviews for the village, and they will make sure that whatever permits that project needs, that project will get. So I just wanted to,
Well, I'm glad you told me that because I wasn't aware of that. I
Yeah.
thought they were in total
to just go.
control.
Yeah, no. Those,
So the village does make sure that, because the village didn't make sure that the subdivision was
Well, that
built
was a
on
long
that. That
time
was a
ago.
long time ago,
Yep.
yeah, I know.
I started here, Gary remembers, in '87.
Yeah,
I know it was before a lot of you were born,
Yeah,
but
that
sitting
was
here
before.
watching, I know.
And the subdivision was already there.
Yeah, it was
I know,
already there,
exactly, I
and it was
know.
a problem, it's been a problem ever since, obviously. We're very aware of the sensitivity of the drainage there, so we will make sure that this doesn't make anything worse.
I appreciate that,
Yeah,
thank you.
You bet. I don't have anything else, though. Nice to be back.
Good to see you, Van.
Thank you.
Chief.
As you see the report, it was shorter because we just had a meeting not too long ago. Just kind of the highlights is hopefully tomorrow when I get the audit report from the village, I just have to attach that. I'm working on an Amplifund grant. I'm trying to work LPR cameras that I was talking about the mayor and actually some fixed cameras into this grant. It's up to $250,000. It's an opioid settlement grant from the county, up to $250,000. It'll also work with Narcan, and the police department will have classes on teaching people how to distribute Narcan, give them Narcan if they have family members that they may believe are on possibly heroin and stuff like that, to work with that. So I'm trying to tie it all together and get some cameras with that. So I'll submit that tomorrow. And then the thing on the bottom of there about search warrant, if you have any questions, just see me directly on that. If anybody has any questions.
All right, Bob.
Just a few items. Added some photos to your packets. Conrad Street storm sewer. As everybody knows, with underground, you always find some kind of hiccup in the mix. Just one little hiccup. There was a sanitary sewer. I shared pictures. That's in the way of the storm sewer. That's not a permanent fix. That's a temporary fix, just so everybody knows. That'll be removed, and the sewer will be relocated to North Street. I added pictures. That's the current. And then there's a relocation picture. It'll run out from the side of the house to North Street, so it won't be in any interference with the storm sewer. So the pipe is all in. The next step is to grind the road, pave, and then curb and gutter, and away we go. So it's looking like completion date will be before school. There shouldn't be any issues with that, so.
When are they starting the grinding?
Probably within the next week. You guys have done some tree removals in the house, not too big. Staff, we continue to get a large number of tree trimmings, work orders. Guys are going out trimming without work orders too, but big thing this year. One thing I want to specify again is we're going to have some tree decline here in the next few years if we don't get rain, and that's going to be costly. As you drive around town, you can see the trees are not in good, they're struggling. One thing probably will happen this year is leaf drop's going to happen early. It may be the end of September, just because there's no rain. So just a heads up on that. You guys will be voting on MFT tonight. It's East Crawford Street. So just a heads up on that. Right away spraying. All the curbs have been sprayed for weed control. So we do that every year. We've done it 30 years of my career almost, so just a heads up on that. We don't spray the parkways, just the curb lines, just so everybody knows. Sidewalk program, I'm still putting together an assessment to try to choose which sidewalks are in more need than others. So with the budget we have, it's kind of tough to do that. So that's all I really got. If you guys have any questions for me.
Good, thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Nick?
So I have a report in the packet, but I'll just touch on a couple things. A lot of the items on the agenda is what I've been spending a lot of my time, the scooters, the travel center, letter of credit, the treasurer's contract. But I don't want to steal anybody's thunder. The mayor's gonna talk about something with our budget being recognized. The travel center, this letter of credit that's on the agenda, that's a good sign because that means the project is coming very close to the end. The hotel opened at the end of May. We received the first check just recently for the hotel, for the hotel tax and the BBD money. So that's hotel and travel center are generating revenues. We're trying to get some of those numbers are delayed as they go through the state and whatever, but I'm hoping to have a more detailed report of where we're at, and as that grows, keep reporting that. The the hotel was planning a official ribbon cutting at the end of this month. They actually decided to push that back, so once I have that date, we will share that with everybody, but everyone will be invited to that, so that's positive. Code enforcement is always something we've tried to focus on. We had the BNF's code guys through town the week of June 30th. We were able to address a number of those right away, some weeds and other things. I've been taking some time and just checking myself. Generally, town is looking pretty good. I know you can always find something to harp on, but I think most residents take very good care of their properties. But we have a couple problem properties, and you probably all know which ones I'm talking about, so we're staying on those. But we're just continuing to address them and push people to do the right thing, clean up their grass, weeds, debris, what have you. I'm gonna work with Trustee Sandberg to schedule another building committee soon. We did receive an update, a draft update of the building code update. We're still waiting on a memo from BNF, but that would help with that process, and hopefully we can keep that going. And then the mayor and I have been continuing to meet with a lot of folks. We've met with the mayor and administrator from both Beecher and Monee just to talk about mutual projects, concerns, regional issues. I met with Pavlov's representatives as they wrap up to make sure that they're doing what they can to remedy any issues. The one thing, I'll just piggyback on what Bob said, and I know it's a difficult topic in town, but when it's hot, you don't need to water your grass. My wife tells me all the time, the grass will come back. But your trees, you need to water, and if you don't water them, there's a good chance they may not make it, especially if they're newer trees. Likewise, where Pavlov has planted seed, if you don't water them, it's not gonna come up right now. Doesn't mean it won't ever come up, but they told me that it wasn't their job, nor is it our public works job to go around and water all the spots. So if residents aren't watering where they planted the seed, it's just gonna lay dormant until it gets moisture. So it may be more in the fall you see that, or next year you'll see a lot of that grass coming. But they were gonna go back in some particularly problematic areas, reseed it again. The other thing, just for residents who are watching on TV, they put seed, they put the straw, they put the mesh down. You can choose to pull that up, or you can choose to leave it. It will eventually biodegrade. If you pull it up, it dries it out quicker, so that's probably not the best thing, but I know a lot of folks have that, and it's starting to come up for a variety of reasons. It doesn't look real good. The other thing is, if there's weeds, just like your yard, you can pull them. You don't have to wait, and probably it's not someone else gonna come and pull them for you, so that's just a public service announcement. So that's about it. We're gonna talk a lot of other items on the agenda, so I'll stop there. Thanks.
All right, move on to our committee reports. Julie, you wanna start with the police and public safety committee?
We basically just talked about the e-bikes and e-scooters. There's not a whole lot to talk about. It is on the agenda. We have to follow the state of Illinois.
Okay, and Gary?
Yeah, Administrative Oversight Committee had a meeting earlier today, and on that agenda, we discussed the Peatone Sportsman's Club lease agreement. That agreement is up next March, and the discussion was, you know, about that lease agreement and how we're gonna handle that going forward. We'll have more information on that coming within the year. We also had a discussion on event permit regulations, guidelines, and requirements, and these are events that we have in the downtown area. As far as how to handle the events, the service for the patrons, liquor, those types of things, and the liquor commissioner and administrator are gonna set some guidelines going into the future, mainly starting next year on how we're gonna run those events and you know, what the village is gonna do and so forth. Just redo the guidelines. The last item that we discussed was discussion on the building department planning functions. We have in the past had a planner that we worked with that did reports for planning and zoning, and also reviewed some plans, and we do have a senior planner that the administrator is gonna reach out to and use from time to time as needed. And that's it.
Very good. For my comments, as Nick briefly touched on, for our finance department, they received the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for the 4th year in a row. Our finance department consists of Anne Marie Nampe and Diane Nielsen. They've done a terrific job of taking care of this. I'm sure it's been longer than 4 years, but they've been awarded this, and it's quite an honor to have these two young ladies working for us, doing a fantastic job. To get that award, you have to have a significant achievement by the entity. It reflects a commitment of the governing body and staff to the meeting of the highest principles of the governmental budgeting. In order to receive the budget award, the entity has to satisfy nationally recognized guidelines for effective budget presentation. These guidelines are designed to assess how well the entity's budget serves as a policy document, a financial plan, operations guide, and a communications device. Budget documents must be rated proficient in all 4 categories and in the 14 mandatory criteria within those categories to receive the award. There are 1,700 participants in the budget awards program. The most recent budget awards recipients, along with their corresponding budget documents, are posted quarterly on the General Government Finance Officer Association's website. Award recipients have pioneered efforts to improve the quality of budgeting and provide excellent example for other governments throughout North America. So we applaud them very much tonight. And Diane is in the back there, so give her a hand. Thank you, Diane. We'd also like to express our condolences to the family of Greg Spathis, our former administrator who passed away recently. A moment of silence for that, for him, sorry. On to new business. A motion to award a contract to the lowest bidder, Iroquois Building Corporation, in the amount of $176,934.25 for the 2025 MFD Street Resurfacing Program. And I'll let Nick explain that real briefly.
So this is an annual process we go through. We collect motor fuel tax as part of the pro rata share that Peatone gets and goes into a fund. This project was in our capital improvement plan. We had a bid opening on July 9th. There were 3 bids. And just quick education, those vendors are pre-qualified with IDOT. They submit sealed bids at the bid process or bid opening. We open them, make sure they have all the proper paperwork, and generally you go with the lowest bidder because it's qualified and responsive. So this is between Route 50 and the railroad tracks, East Crawford. We previously did West Crawford. Van is here if there's any technical questions that I can't answer, but it's pretty straightforward, and this project, I believe, will be done this fall. So
Well, the deadline
Bob's
is,
here too.
The deadline is October for
okay,
completion.
thank you, Bob. Bob's here too.
So, any questions?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Hudson, second by Sturba.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Richards?
Yes.
Trustee Sandberg?
Yes.
Trustee Sluse?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
We have a motion to approve the ordinance amending Chapter 71 of the Village Code of the Village of Peatone to add a new Section 71.28 and amending the existing Section 71.22 relative to the operation of electric scooters, electric personal mobility devices, electric bicycles within the village. This will be ordinance 25-08. Nick,
So
that one.
I will start this, but I welcome our attorney or others who want to add to this. Public Act 103-0899 was enacted in August of 2024. This law gave local governments the ability to authorize and regulate the operation of low-speed electric scooters if they chose to do so. The problem for Peatone is we're a non-home rule community, so we don't have the ability to change the regulations at all. So that's a negative. So we pretty much have to go, well, negative if you want to do it. So we have to pretty much go with what they have. The thing we can do by passing the ordinance is we can create an ordinance, and it's an ordinance violation, so it gives our police officers another tool to use to cite people through an ordinance violation rather than a state ticket that goes into the regular court system. The goal of this is, I think I mentioned in here, is to keep people safe. That's always our priority. To give our officers the flexibility to use a municipal ordinance rather than a state ticketing process, and basically follow the rules as they're written. If we don't like it, we can lobby Springfield to change it, but as IML took a lot of lead on this, they tried to get protections from municipalities for liability, and the state senate included that, and then the state house took that out. So there's the communities that are home rule, some of them you will see in the news, are allowing this and lowering the age from 18 to 16 or even to 13. Those communities are taking on that liability risk, but they are able to do it because they're home rule. So I will stop there, and if our attorney wants to add anything, Michael Mars or
Sure.
Chief or anybody else.
Yeah, I'll jump in. As the gentleman pointed out, Mr. Jones and the chief kind of followed up on, the state legislation is confusing. It's a little bit contradictory in places in terms of how they treat these different types of devices. I don't think we've seen the last from the legislature on this because, these are becoming much more common. You see a lot of people using them, and it needs to be addressed in, I think, a more comprehensive manner and less of a patchwork. So I do think we'll see something in the next year or two, but for right now, we are dealing with what we have. As Nick pointed out, by enacting your own ordinance here, you're allowed to write these as local ordinance violations as opposed to state tickets. Gives you a little more flexibility in terms of warnings, community service, just dealing with the people who are in violation rather than just writing them more serious state tickets. I'm happy to answer any questions, but again, the legislation that you have before you kind of reflects the current state of state law, and as a non-home rule community, you just don't have a lot of flexibility to be more liberal than what the state has. Anything to add, Chief?
No, sir.
Okay.
Can I just make one other? One other thing, and just to be clear, I mean, it's labeled low-speed electric scooters, but we are also addressing electric personal mobility devices and low-speed electric bicycles, because they're all kind of in that same neighborhood of devices, and they are all becoming more prevalent. And unfortunately, we have seen some accidents that resulted in hospital visits, both here in town and other communities where people are getting hurt. So that's also a motivation to try to keep kids and pedestrians safe. These e-bikes were never supposed to be ridden on sidewalks in the downtown area. Someone's coming out of a restaurant or a store and someone's going by at a high speed. So, but I think there's a lot of people who are responsible. Unfortunately, this is just the law from the state is what it is. So.
Yeah, and I would just add, so as these become more common and available to younger teens, for instance, they're not schooled in the traffic laws the same way that people 16 and over are, and I'm sure a lot of you have experienced them just kind of zipping in front of cars and stuff. So that's the goal of all the legislation from the state and this is to be able to educate people, be able to warn people, be able to issue citations where necessary in order to ensure that we don't have a bad accident in the future.
Is this something that the school resource officer can present at the schools?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're going to put some press releases and other information out too, just to let people know that this is the law.
And if the state does actually change something, then we could do like a rodeo and actually have classes to teach people. But like right now, like we talked, it's 18, so no use to really teach the kids how to do it because they can't ride them.
And we'll continue to monitor developments at the state level and update you as to any changes.
Very good. Any other questions? We get a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Sandberg,
Second.
second by Sturba.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Richards?
Yes.
Trustee Sandberg?
Yes.
Trustee Sluse?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yeah.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Motion to approve the Peatone Travel Center letter of credit reduction request number 4. Nick?
So this, as I mentioned in my memo, this is part of the Peatone Travel Center Holiday Inn Express. It's all one comprehensive travel stop. The entire complex cost over $32 million to construct. And as I mentioned earlier, the Holiday Inn Express opened on May 28th and submitted their first tax revenue check. Letters of credit, as many of you know, are required on projects like this to cover things that if the developer didn't do them, we have the money to do it for them. But as they do that, there are different required tasks, and I'm oversimplifying this, but that they can have that money released, and they do this through a bank or another financial institution. So we've been progressively reducing this from, I think, a high of 3 million maybe, but now we're down to, this is gonna reduce it by 44,275. There's still will be a balance of $22,902.25, which are still for some of the outstanding items. But we work on stuff like this with Robinson and their staff to inspect and check things. Sometimes Bob has even been involved in checking some of these things, but I worked with the developer directly, and this was kind of negotiated to this number. We think it's a good number. And they're getting all the things they need to get done, so I recommend approval of this.
Can you clarify on the letter itself, item 15 and 15A?
So 15 is seating in some of the open areas. Van, I might need your help on that one. I think it's,
That's exactly how I would read it. I don't-
yeah, just, I mean, it's,
I'm kidding, I'm just kidding. I
No,
don't,
so it says that 9150 of completed work, and then it says
Yeah.
work remaining 915, and then it says landscaping, $10,000 has been completed, but it says $10,000 is still remaining.
yeah, I just marked it on my sheet as, before you said it, so I
Okay.
saw it the same way.
Okay.
But I think it's just a misprint on their part. On the second portion, where they got the wetland plannings,
Mhm.
you know, item 7, the completed work is, I know.
That
So
makes sense.
I think it shouldn't be 100%, but it's funny, because
Okay.
I wrote that down as well.
I-
But I am confident that they talked in this, that amount of the work that's left is correct.
the hotel and, the hotel landscaping is largely done, but there's a pad out in front of the hotel for the restaurant, which is obviously not built and may not be built for some time. Some of that money is for that, because they, obviously, I mean, you're not gonna landscape it completely and then build a building and probably destroy all the landscaping, but.
But we can get them to revise this, and
The math
just for
doesn't
the
matter.
no, I agree.
Yeah.
So for
Okay.
the record, we can get them to get us this back.
That's fine. Not a big deal.
Any other questions? Need a motion?
Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Julie.
Me.
Yep. Louise.
Trustee Richards?
Yes.
Trustee Sandberg?
Yes.
Trustee Sluse?
Yes.
Trustee Sturman?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
We have a resolution approving the extension of the employee lease agreement with MGT Impact Solutions LLC for the finance director and treasurer contact. This will be resolution 25-R-12. Nick, explain that.
So, as many of you know, we've done this a couple times since I've been here. Anne Marie Mampy is a consultant with, assigned by MGT, Impact Solutions, it used to be GovHR. She is a contractual employee, so we pay her hourly rate, and that includes all benefits, insurance, whatever. We don't pay anything extra, so that base rate is what we pay. She's not here every day, but in my opinion, she is very highly qualified financial professional, and the proof is in us getting recognized with our budget and our audits being clean, and she's getting the work we need to get done. And from strictly a financial perspective for the village, the cost benefit of, we wouldn't get somebody of her caliber at a rate we would want to pay, probably for a full-time employee. So we're getting the work done, and it's done by a high qualified professional. And I mentioned this previously, but as time has gone on, and I'm glad she's here, because Diane helps a lot, at a lower hourly rate, she is able to take some of the work that would ordinarily have to go to an Anne Marie, and that's reflected in, from FY '24, the total was approximately $74,000 that we paid to MGT for Anne Marie, and in fiscal year '25, it was only $65,000. Some of that is some of the kinks and the smoothness of the process, but some of it is also a credit to Diane, who has helped manage the workload. And so I think it's financially, it's good for us. We get a high qualified person, and we get what we need to get done. So this is a contract proposal that would take her basically to the end of the fiscal year, and then as we pass budgets, we can decide, do we want to continue the relationship for another year? So I would say this almost could become like an annual process of just, with our budget, we decide, do we want to continue on this relationship or not? There is a slight increase. It goes from 130.50, I think, to, and I'm looking at the number now, to one, let's see, sorry, 130. It goes from it's 130.50 to 134.85. So a $4.35, I think. My math's right. Sorry.
Sounds right.
So, which is based on the annual performance, it's about a $2,000 increase in cost. So, I recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion, Solis, second.
Trustee Sandberg?
Yes.
Trustee Sluse?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Richards?
Yes.
All right, we are going to go into a closed session. A closed session, close regular session to go to executive session for the appointment, employment compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee or employees of the public body, or legal counsel for the public body, 5 Illinois, 5 ILCS 120C1. Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion Solis, second Sturba.
Trustee Sluse?
Yes.
Trustee Sturba?
Yes.
Trustee Hudson?
Yes.
Trustee Bowden?
Yes.
Trustee Richards?
Yes.
Trustee Sandberg?
Yes.
And there will be action taken after we return.